Welcome to Metal Priestesses podcast. This is Jenny Shore. Today on our show, we have the Bangles sisters, guitarist Vicki Peterson and drummer Debbi Peterson. I was their wardrobe stylist in the 80s, and I can't wait to reunite with them for some juicy stories. Take it away, Wendy.
It develops. We urge you to stay tuned to radio and TV and to stay indoors at all costs.
As of 12 noon tomorrow, say goodbye to the world as you know it. Say goodbye to
Metal Priestesses.
Vicki and Debbi, I want to introduce you to everyone you don't know, because you know me, Jenny.
We know you, Genny.
And this is Jessie Jacobson with the dark hair.
Okay.
She's from the reformed Backstage Pass. We got back together in 2018.
I love it. I love it. There's no reforming the Backstage Pass, girls.
No expiration date, right?
No.
And then we've got Elizabeth, and she's from Here She Roars blog, and she helped create this podcast.
Love it. Hi.
So this is Debbi, this is Vicki from...
Oops, this is me falling over again. Sorry. It's so typical.
What's wrong with you?
I know. I had it totally figured out, and then I left the room. That's what happens.
So Vicki and Debbi from one of our favorite bands, the Bangles.
Yeah. Okay, I have to know how you started working with them. Do you even remember?
How Genny did?
Yeah.
I'm flipping you guys over for a second. Sorry. I apologize.
flipping over.
This happens to me every time.
We're used to it.
sick
No,
now.
we're used to it.
I know. You're going to get sick.
This
I
is
think
like,
I'll
this
stay.
is like
Okay, good.
Tilt-A-Whirl at...
Right?
There we go.
It's psychedelic.
Well, what I first remember is seeing the Bangs, I guess, at the Cafe de Grand. And I remember thinking, God, Vicki's like so comfortable talking on stage. Why couldn't I have been that way in Backstage Pass?
Loud mouth.
He's a show off.
But then, what do you guys remember? About
Genny, I
meeting?
I remember meeting you and Tony,
Yeah.
actually. Yeah. And in the straitjacket in the fashion world. And it seemed like that was, funnily enough, that was my first impression with you. I didn't even realize that you were a musician and a writer, an amazing songwriter that you are.
Thank you.
And yeah, you were one of the like cool fashion chicks, as far as I knew at first.
Still is.
And
Now-
still is.
Thank you. You know, you both are in my autograph book from Straitjacket.
Oh, awesome.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So I remember Debbi, I remember this like sort of 60s dress that you bought at Straitjacket. And I think you wore that on one of the first album, maybe your EP. Did you wear it on the EP
Is it
or an ad?
just the one that has like sort of like
Like the green and blue.
Yeah.
blue and white?
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was what was. Well, it was the EP.
It wasn't the EP. Yeah.
I'm trying to think where it was. I know it was for magazines. I wore it in magazines.
Yeah. Yes.
It was an
You wore it
early
in a
fashion
magazine.
I might have worn it on that MV3 show that we did.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny.
Well,
But Genny, it
here's-
does make.
Oh, go
I
ahead.
was just going to say that dress does make a reappearance when we put out Ladies and Gentlemen, the Bangles, and redid it. And there's a picture from, God, was it Blitz magazine, Debbi? Anyway, it was a magazine cover, and she was wearing that dress. So ta-da! There you go.
Ta-da,
There you go.
And then Tony, she did what was it called now? Getting Out of Hand. She did the graphics for that.
Oh,
Mhm.
wow.
Tony from Straitjacket. Yeah.
Very
Now,
Do you
cool.
still have those
Punky.
outfits? Do you still have the outfits?
Wow, no, I
Oh,
wish.
come on, you didn't say that these outfits. I
I've had to
can't
sort
believe it.
I didn't have any. That wasn't my outfit was not anywhere near as cool as Debbie's dress. So
And then it wasn't until later when you had a bigger budget that I actually got to go on tour with you. And I think the first thing we did was we went to Europe, and you guys had won, what is it, a BMA award in Britain?
Yeah, the British, the Brit Award. Yeah,
BPI award.
Brit Award.
BPI. I think that's
Yeah.
it.
Is that it? Yeah. And I remember we did power shopping in England.
Ooh.
Well,
I
Genny,
remember I got a dress for like 20 pounds or something. So it was like, whatever, $20. And it was, it was like the sleeky slit dress.
Yeah.
did we go to Knightsbridge? Did we go to?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thunder
Which of
Pussy.
these different stalls?
Is that Thunder Pussy?
It was
Yes.
stalls.
Yeah,
Okay.
Kensington Market.
Kensington
Yeah.
Market, Kensington High Street in London.
Yeah.
It's not there anymore. Believe me, the street is, but not the markets. And our favorite stall inside that market was called Thunder Pussy. And that's where we got all those beautiful sari. I know, isn't that a great name?
Great name.
We got all those sari outfits made from, Indian saris, and we ended up wearing them on the Eternal Flame video. So you'll see them there. But those
Those were
served
great.
us well, right?
Yeah. Well, you looked pretty styling at the BPI Awards or whatever it's called.
I think
I think
Yeah, I
it's
think I
blood
wore
pressure.
Yeah, blood pressure. Yeah, exactly. It's a blood pressure index. Blood pressure index award. I had what I called the baked potato dress. It was like a silver foil dress with black edging, and I looked like a baked potato.
And you were well cooked.
It,
I was.
it
I
was
remember
probably
seeing-
really cool back then, though.
I don't know about that.
It was. I remember seeing Ray Davies earlier, like for the rehearsal, and he said, "I really like your band," and I was like, "I think you mean Debbie," but I was blonde. Now, Elizabeth wants to ask Debbie about your bangs.
You had the best
I was
bangs.
Bangs,
I said-
bangs.
I said you have the best bangs, and you always have.
Oh, thank you.
Well, that's what they named the band after, right?
He's a bang girl.
Debbie Bangs?
Actually, it was originally the Supersonic Bangs. We were going for that name originally.
Wow.
Oh,
And I said, that's kind of too long. Let's just,
Yeah, it was about 20 minutes, I think, we were in the supersonic bangs.
if that.
If that.
Okay,
Bangs.
are you guys up for some fan questions? I have some fan questions that I've been collecting
Absolutely.
from Instagram. So let me get to them. There's one person who was really greedy and asked a lot. First of all,
That was me.
a question for Debbie.
Yes.
Will Kindred Spirit ever be added to Spotify?
I bloody hope so. I have to, it's out of print, so I have to find a way of tracking it down and getting it on Spotify, because I have a CD of it, but I'm not sure if I could load it on from the CD, because I don't think that would sound very good. So it's going to be a challenge to track that guy down.
Okay.
Definitely.
And also, can you tell us about your old side project, Donis and Phyllis Everly?
Phyllis and Donna, that we never actually got it together, but we need to. We did
Sort of a, yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Go ahead. It's your question.
Okay.
That's a good name.
Yeah.
Okay. And Vicki, what is your favorite song from All Over the Place?
Good question. I think maybe James. It's one of the oldest songs.
I love that song so much.
And that was a song Debbie and I performed that song, for probably 2 years before we recorded it with the Bangs / Bangles.
And it was
a great one.
It had like a reggae feel to it.
Yeah, we had a different groove going at one point to it completely. But it was written when I was like 19. But my favorite part about it is that it was my first. I got a fan letter about that song, and the fan letter was from Marshall Crenshaw, and I almost died.
I did
He just
close
said,
for Marshall.
Oh, of course you did.
Yeah.
Love
Okay.
it.
Okay, I have to. It says they're very demanding.
Well,
Your
we
bands.
don't we want to ask Debbie what her favorite from that album was?
Okay, Debbie, what was your favorite?
Put you on the
What
spot.
was on the album again? Oh, jeez.
All over the place.
Yeah, my favorites. They're all my favorites. No, I'm trying to think. Well, I like James too. Crikey. I need the song list in front of me. I'm thinking.
That's okay. We'll come back to it.
Come
Jesse,
back to that one. Come
Jesse,
back.
stay out of it. Okay.
All right, I'll stay out of it.
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
It says
Let's
ask
see how this
them.
In your band
Okay.
dynamics.
You know band dynamics.
Yeah.
Okay. Why have you never put out a live album?
Good question.
Ooh, that would be
And
so
they want to
good.
know. I'm going to let you answer that first, and then there's a second part to the question.
Who's the question to? Debbie.
Vicki, you're
Oh, to
talking.
me.
You go.
I'm talking. I am talking.
It is for Debbie, but you go.
See, no, I can't do that to my sister, Debbie. It's all yours.
That's so mean.
Whatever. Well, I don't know. I think we need to do one. I think, especially in this, what's going on with not being able to play live, I think it would be really cool to put out a live record. It's just the problem is finding the live recordings, any live tracks that we can all agree on.
Well, you know what? I just thought of something. What about the live thing you did at Pittsburgh?
Well, that is definitely a good that's a good concert. It's well recorded. One of the few ones that was actually well recorded.
Yeah.
We don't have right now access or ownership of that audio, but that's not impossible. And that's one of the things in the running. We've talked about this in the past. And there's a couple other concerts that might be up to scratch as well. We didn't do a whole lot of live recording other than what I'm sure you girls know as board tapes, which sound horrendous, but can be worked into something nice, with a little love, a little kindness, and a little compassion.
One thing that Linda Ronstadt did was put out live at Hollywood High, and they sweetened it.
Yeah.
It's
It's definitely doable, and it's on the docket. So we'll just say that it's definitely something that is it's a goal.
Yes.
Now many of your fans want to know, will you ever remaster the first 3 albums and make some kind of a box set? That was a common question.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is also actually on the docket for something that we need to work out with Sony.
Big goal. That's a big goal.
Okay, this is a question for Debbie.
Yes, dear.
With the hindsight of age, what are your fondest memories you have with touring with the Bangles in the 80s?
Ooh, I don't remember. No, I'm kidding. Actually, I don't know. I miss it sometimes. I really miss just the camaraderie of everybody working together, and it's like a family, and you go on the road, and you. There was a lot of work to do too, but it was like a gang. We were like a gang. We go on stage, we do sound check, and then get ready to go on stage, and then we do interviews and then day off or whatever. But we had our crew, and later on a nice bus.
Crew was fun.
Crew is fun. Crew is fun to hang out with, and it just has a very much a family feel or a gang feel,
Yeah, I remember when we went to Europe, and it was like a television tour mostly, and we went to France. Do you remember when we were in the limo and Prince was in the limo ahead of us? He was following us, but he made it look like we were following him. And then Mickey used to call him Clint. And then we all went, Clint. And then we all went to the Picasso Museum, and then he jumped out, and then that was it.
Ta-da! A typical Prince encounter, actually.
Was that before or after Manic Monday?
That was after.
That was after.
Yeah, because this television tour was for if she knew what she wants.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that was a different light.
Was it different light?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. So I remember we went to England, we went to France, we went to Switzerland, and we got to see the Graceland Tour.
Yes.
Simon, do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes, we were
That
in
would've been great.
Amsterdam, or he played in Rotterdam. I remember this because
Was
either
it
that or
Rotterdam?
either we
Oh.
were in Rotterdam or we were in Amsterdam and
We
he
were
was
in
Rotterdam.
Amsterdam.
And,
for
and then we
sure.
had to drive to Rotterdam.
We had
We
to
like
drive
literally
home.
left the stage. We were still wet and sweaty, and got in a car and drove to the show. And I think we
Yeah.
caught maybe the last minute or two.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still, one of my favorite photos actually is us with Paul.
Paul,
Oh, yeah.
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 That was awesome.
I wish I had more photos of us from the day, but like we didn't have phones back then or anything.
I was thinking that the other day. I just like, man, that would have been great if we had documented the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we didn't think that it was going to be that important in some ways. And it wasn't as a matter of daily life like it is now. I mean, we had little cameras, and I remember I used to send a crew member out. We'd be in Japan, we'd be in Tokyo or something. And I would send my little, Instamatic camera to give it to the
Take pictures,
Walker,
Luke.
our keyboard player, and say, go tell me where I am, go take pictures, because we would have no time to go look at the town or look at the city. We'd just be
Yeah.
stuck in offices or studios or the hotel.
No, I do remember when we went to Hawaii, we got to go snorkeling.
Yes, my fave. I loved
I
that.
love snorkeling.
Yeah, I have a question. At what point did you both realize you've made it, as they say?
That's such a good question.
Good question.
We used to make a joke that once you had your own washer and dryer in your own apartment, you'd made it. That was pretty much it. That was
So
like
true.
I remember
Sort
when
of
you all got
apex.
cars. I remember when you all got
Mhm,
cars.
that's right.
And Nikki like reading her Volvo manual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think the car I got, I don't even remember. I think I had a hand-me-down car from my dad for all those years.
I think,
and then I think the
it
first,
went from you to me.
yeah. Well, yeah, you got the Buick after I got the Buick.
Yes.
But then I had a little red Chevette. I never had a cool car. I actually finally bought a car from Belinda Carlisle. So used from Belinda,
Wow.
which was an awesome four-wheel drive Montero. And it was just like, this is the coolest truck car
the one
ever.
you rolled over in.
That was when I rolled over in. Yes, thank you very much. I did on the way up to Big Bear. But weirdly, I did not die.
Oh, speaking of near-death incidents, do you remember when we were in Italy and we were being driven around by this crazy limo driver in San Remo?
Yes.
And he was like drunk and listening to the Rolling Stones, and I was sure we were going to die.
Was that Mr. La Crepa?
Yes.
Or was Mr. La
Yes.
Crepa?
It was
or La
Crepa.
Crepa.
Creepa. Creepa.
I thought that might have been Milan, so maybe that wasn't the same guy.
No, it was
I thought
San
Mr.
Remo.
Crepa
That was the
in-
other crazy guy.
I think it was the other crazy driver. I love that Jenny's bringing up every time we've been in a limo and making it sound like this was normal. But to be honest, I think we were in a limo together 5 times.
Come on, you're
The 80s.
admit it.
I'm not kidding. We weren't. It wasn't like that. It sounds like that. Yeah, that time we were in a limo and then Prince was in his limo.
yeah.
It's like, sorry, one time.
Okay, so it was 3 times we established it. Yeah.
At least
But-
3.
Yeah.
But we almost died. Yeah, in
But we-
San Remo.
Yeah, we did.
But in all fairness, anywhere like in Italy, you're gonna almost die.
You're gonna die
That's the way
anyway.
they drive them.
Right.
That's their sort of MO, right?
Exactly.
It's the way it is on the road there,
Yes, if you're on the road, you're taking your life in your hands.
Yeah.
Okay, one other person wants to ask if either one of you is still in touch with Michael Steele.
Yes, I am.
See you, Vicki.
That's me. I'm definitely. I definitely in touch. I always talk to her on her birthday, of course, and then I usually talk to her once or twice. She's a very private person, having a
Yeah.
lovely life post Bangles.
Yeah.
But she's doing really well. I'm going to tell you all that. She's just actually doing really, really well.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Spock talked to her. Spock talked to her.
she-
Oh,
Yeah.
great. Love it.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's really cool. Yeah. Gosh, I have such fond memories, really. Like, I know it was like sort of a pressure cooker, like when I got to tour with you guys,
Mhm.
but it was still so much fun because I felt like I was like the fifth Bangle
Well, obviously,
because we were all the same age. And then
mhm.
I remember when my boyfriend at the time, remember Dwayne Jarvis?
Yes,
He
Dwayne.
came on tour
Oh,
with
God bless
us,
him.
and we got to be like Egyptians behind a screen every night.
Yes,
Yeah,
you were a dancer.
you're a dancer.
Yeah. And then Debbie, you met your husband on tour, yes?
Yeah, pretty much. He was doing sound at first, and then he did production, and yeah, we just we were friends, and then the rest is history.
Debbie sleeping with the crew.
Whoa.
In a limousine, no doubt.
In a limo,
Of
yeah.
course.
Of course, in the back of the limo, baby.
So I think you all know that I had Eden, and
Yes, of course.
Eden's very first concert was the Bangles, and when I asked Eden says, "Good first concert."
Nice. That's nice.
And that was at the JCC. Do you remember playing there? I think it was because of some connection with Debbie.
Yeah, in the
That was-
JCC in Silver Lake. That one?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, of course.
I remember that.
That was our brother and his daughters were going there. Went there.
And
My
Eden
brother
did
went
too.
there. Yeah.
And Eden got to get up on stage and dance
Oh, love. Yes, I remember
with
that. Oh my
Sam.
gosh.
with Sam.
With
Who's,
Sam Roach.
Sam Roach.
Oh,
yeah.
that's
Oh my
right.
gosh.
Right.
Who is
How fun.
Susanna's
How-
son.
Right.
How old was
Aw.
Eden then?
Same age as
She was-
Sam.
What are you guys
Yeah.
doing with COVID? Are you recording or are you just
Wait, Vicki, you're in a
healthy.
band with your husband and the Action Skulls and Bill
Yes.
Mummy?
With Bill Mummy, yes. Bill Mummy and John Cowsill. And we're just actually this morning we were just doing some last minute vocals on a song that is going to get mixed, and we're in the final moments of mixing and mastering, and it will be out sometime in 21. And I just dropped my earpiece.
There it goes.
With that lineage, it sounds like a super group, right? With that lineage, all the-
Yeah.
right.
That's incredible. And
Thank you.
Vicki, you've been in a couple different bands, yeah?
Yeah, I know. I'm a serial band member apparently.
You were even in the Go-Go's for a little bit.
I was. I had a tenure in the Go-Go's, which was talk about a blast. And again, going to Europe with them, and it was really fun to just be the side chick.
right?
Jane used to call me Vic side chick. And, so it was really fun because there was less pressure on me. They wanted me to do press and promotion with them, but I didn't have to. And I never had to worry about it if what the ticket sales were or anything. I just showed up and tried to do my job. And it was, that was very refreshing and different for me, but it was really, really fun. They were a blast.
So you were filling in for Charlotte?
For Charlotte, who was extremely pregnant with her daughter, who's now a lovely, very tall young woman.
Astrid, who has a band called the Side Eyes, right?
Yes, she's
Oh,
amazing.
that's cool.
She's lovely.
Yeah.
Let's go back to
So,
fashion. I want to talk more about fashion.
Do it.
Well, Elizabeth's favorite video of yours is what, Elizabeth? Hazy Shade of Winter.
Yes. And the clothes in that, I watch it now and I'm like, this is still fashionable. I mean, you guys might laugh, but it's like, it's so cool.
So Vicki, do you
Yeah.
remember it was almost like Barbarella. You had
Yes.
the black vinyl thing that I had borrowed or
I
rented.
loved that thing.
And the chainmail was incredible.
Yes.
Wow.
And then there was the suspenders that went to the boots, the thigh-high stretch boots, and then they clipped on it was like kind of amazing.
No, Tony invented those. Those are over-the-knee stockings.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
Yes.
I remember
Yeah.
the knee stockings. Those were cool.
Yeah.
Those are very cool.
Yeah.
That's
Tony-
that absolutely is something I would wear today. You're right.
me
It's
too.
completely contemporary.
we're still like buying your own clothes. I don't know why we
Always.
didn't have budgets. It's so
Never.
crazy because I got Susanna Hoff's, I got Susanna Azadine Alaya dress, and I really had to talk her into it, you know, because it was expensive. And she was like,
Yeah.
it's just an off the, you know, and then Debbie, I remember you wore two different outfits. There was like a sparkly, cool dress, and then you wore like a jacket on the dress.
Yeah, I think
It
we
was
wore a
like
jacket over
a
it. Yeah.
Levi jacket, and it looks so cool. And I don't
Right.
remember what Mickey was wearing at all. I felt like
for Hazy Shade.
when I used to go to Mickey's, she'd say, "Is this okay? Is this okay?" I was like, "Yeah, you know, that's cool."
Everything,
She
yeah,
had-
she always had clothes.
She had a lot of cool. We did make her this one zebra print outfit, and she wore
Yes.
it at the British musical.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
whatever they're
remember that
called.
with the little jacket, right?
And then you had one, Vicki, that was cow print or something. It was a top.
It was
crop
tiger.
top
Tiger. I
crop
just saw a
top.
picture of it. Yeah,
with a skirt.
with a matching skirt. Yeah,
Skirt. Yeah.
I loved those.
We made that at Straight Check.
that was a great tour. It had some good clothes. That tour.
Yeah, that was fun.
Were people asking back then, like if you were to do the red carpet, were they asking who are you wearing? Because like that's all you hear
No.
now. Okay.
No.
That was not a grammatically
No.
correct
Do that back
question.
then.
Nor is it this thing. No, that's the thing. When back in our day, we absolutely had to buy our own clothes. If we were lucky, we got them custom made by people like Tony and Genny, and that was it. But we wore our own clothes. No designer came to us and said, "Hey, we'd like to dress you." You know, it just didn't.
But we did get a discount with Betsy Johnson.
Oh,
That's true. We did. We
Wow.
did. You're right.
Wait,
Go
Vicki,
Betsy.
this is something I didn't do, but that I love, which, although, okay, in one video you had matching fringy dresses with
Mhm.
the one
Walking down the street, was it?
walking down your street, and that was the tour that we did. The television tour was walking down your street.
Oh, okay.
But Vicki, you had a red one, and it got stolen, right?
It got stolen after that show at Carnegie Mellon, the one you were referring to for a live,
Pittsburgh?
and yes, in Pittsburgh, and came back to the dressing room and it was just not there. And yeah, it was sad. It was one of my favorite things because I actually had that made in New York City. I went into this it was absolutely a shop for prostitutes. You know, it absolutely was. I walked in and I just went, wow,
That's
everything
my
in here is like cheap and flashy.
You felt at
I love
home.
it was like, yes, I found my place. No, it was just for whatever reason. And I bought a red fringed like flapper dress. And then maybe Genny, you or Tony put on like a rhinestone shoulder.
Yeah, that would have been Tony.
That's right. Tony did that. Yeah. So she changed out the shoulder straps and made them like rhinestone. So again, to make it more flashy and cheap. And but I loved that dress, and I never found one as good as that one. Actually,
No,
I bought a black one, but it wasn't as good.
Yeah, the ones that were matching were for the walking down your street, and that had the little Richard was the cameo.
Yes, those are the purple
Yes.
and black ones, right?
Yes. Yeah, and
Yes.
then Mickey threw her little spaghetti strap off of her shoulders. I thought that was
She's so
really
sexy.
cool. She's so sexy.
She's so sexy.
And then one day there was this guy that was working for Pure Music, Steve Rosen, and he said, "Okay, my mom's bugging the crap out of me. Do you have anything you could for her auction?" And I was like, "Yeah, you could have these Bangles dresses."
Ooh,
Yeah.
good score.
Because I had bought them myself, with my own money.
Isn't it? It's crazy.
So I donated them to Women Helping Women, just so you know.
Okay.
Brilliant. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So I'm going to put you both on the spot here. I'm going to ask you, did Jen ever like bring you some outfit or something like that? And you kind of looked through it and said, yeah, sure, Jen. Right.
Oh,
Not to my memory. Isn't that
You're
funny?
just a pro. Yeah.
You would think so.
no, because I think we always collaborated,
Yes.
With everybody that I worked with, I think we always collaborated. Yeah.
Yeah, I think she Jenny and Tony knew our likes and dislikes, and
Yeah.
went through my Barbarella phase, and
Yeah. And you had your hippie phase.
hippie
also.
phase, yes,
Hippie phase.
right.
And she
And
was, of
that's the
course,
thing.
what-
That
what's
was probably the most challenging thing, was that each person had their own look, and to tie it all together was probably the most difficult for me.
Sure.
That's the burden I had to carry, you know?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Good job.
But you know what's funny is, like, Vicki, you had those really holy jeans, with all kinds of holes in them, and we used to wear tights underneath our holy jeans. Do you remember that?
I completely remember that. Like, we were presaging the 90s, man.
Yeah. And so then later for Linda Ronstadt and for Tom Petty, I made them holy jeans. Like, they weren't organic holy jeans like ours. I like manufactured holy jeans for them.
Exactly. That's so brilliant. I love that.
How was body image back then when you guys were doing? I mean, did you feel pressure? Did you have any, or was it like you just didn't think about it?
I think it would be.
Pressure.
I don't know, Debbie. You answer it.
I was just going to say real quick, it was pressure to be thin and the videos and stuff like that. But I just remember an English article where I was wearing my little weird question mark outfit for Walk Like an Egyptian. And it was like a sleeveless thing. And, of course I was a drummer. So my arms were kind of buff looking. And I remember somebody making a joke about me being a boxer or something. And it was like,
wow.
Because you have muscular arms. Yeah.
Yes, because I have muscular arms. And so,
That's not a bad thing at
What
all.
well, not now. Not since.
I think one of my favorite things, like, you all had rituals, like, before going on stage. I used to love watching Debbie, like, pad on her little pads before the show, because that meant it was like pre-show and it was getting going, It was exciting.
Getting warmed up. But to go back to that question, because I think it's actually a really important question about body image, because I don't know, I sense that it's even worse for young women now, and thank God there are some people who just really don't care, and there's people like Billie Eilish who's going to say, I'm not going to dress like a hoe because I'm going to wear what I want to wear, I don't care. And yet I feel like there's still a lot of pressure on young women to be models or look like a model as you're a musician, and I felt that back then. I think we definitely were being groomed towards that. The label wanted us to look that way. We fought it as much as we could, but it's always kind of in the back of your head as you're getting ready. I remember at one point, after we'd been on the road for, I don't know, maybe 8 or 9 weeks, one time, and I remember just thinking, God, I'm just sick of looking at myself in the mirror because I'm just putting, right? Because you're putting makeup on before the show. You're like, oh my God, I can't wait to go.
I have to see my face again.
But
I think there really was a sense of.
I can remember pressures. Just because, like, Susanna isn't tall, and Mickey was very statuesque, and I remember
Debbie's tall. Yeah.
Debbie's tall, and I think there's always that tension and those comparisons and
it was
either
always
superimposed on you or I don't know, but
I think it's so much worse now with Instagram. I mean, I think you guys kind of lucked out in that respect.
I'm intentionally not on Instagram because of the visual component of that. It's just not my favorite thing. But to take photos of myself is just not. I'm not really interested. But I think possibly for us and other female musicians in the 80s, we were still we were absolutely the minority, and so people still didn't quite know what to do with us, especially men. Are we objects? Are we is this a dancing flea? Is this something that is a complete aberration of nature. What's going on here? There are women on
Yeah.
stage playing rock music. This is
Well,
not
But
normal.
you guys were just a great band.
I
mean,
know.
You were a
Well,
great
yeah,
band.
you can't take that away you can't take talent away. Like you can't hide that. It's just
we were
yeah.
lucky. Yeah, we were a good live band, sloppy,
Yeah.
but
Fun.
but happy.
Now we've had other women on, and they've said they've had producers, saying, "Don't do this," or "I'm bringing in a studio musician." Did you guys have to ever face any of that? Yeah, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. In a way, I mean, we definitely had guest musicians, but it wasn't so much, you're not up to snuff, so, I'm having this other person play. I mean, there were episodes of that, believe me, and there were definitely moments of this doesn't feel right. And if we really understood our power, which we didn't, I think we would have spoken up more. And I know that there are female musicians now who would just, absolutely tell a producer to just go right off, if he was telling them things that didn't feel right to them. But on the other hand, it's a collaboration in the studio. So, I think there was a moment where we always had to at least listen to the idea, and mull it over.
Keep an open mind. Yeah.
One thing that I loved is when you guys just went and did Hazy Shade of Winter, and it just seemed like you guys just got to do the Bangles.
It's so beautiful.
Finally,
That's what I feel too. Yeah.
I mean, that is probably better than the original, and I love Paul Simon. I love
So do I.
Simon Garfunkel. I do, but I really love the Bangles version.
It's very different. Well, that, we started working with Rick Rubin on that cut.
Right.
And George Akulias was in the studio, and he was always so supportive and lovely. But Rick did not like what we ended up doing with George, and this was during a session that Rick was not present at, and we did the whole little. He was there.
The harmonies.
He was absent in a lot. No, it wasn't luckily the harmony. He knew enough, and I'm going to give him credit for this, because at that point in time, we Bangles knew how to sing together. We really did, and we knew how to arrange vocals. And we had done it now for many years. We were very comfortable doing that. And so we did those vocals. That was us for sure. But that little sort of keyboardy intro.
Love that intro. I love it.
He hated it.
Sue said that too. And I just I'm like, he's not that great then.
Well, it didn't sound quote organic enough for him. I think he didn't like the sort of synthy sound of it, which I understood because I was anti-synth for so long. I got into
I don't think that
huge
though when I
tussle
hear
over
it. I only really hear your harmonies, and
it's just textural.
So beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool too. It was cool that we did that sort of off time, time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So kind of,
Yes. It's off time.
Yes.
Yeah, and then just you guys in the hallway.
Oh, I love that video.
or whatever that is, like with that. Yeah, that's so cool. Okay, Jesse.
We don't need
Jesse, go.
Hi, Jesse.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, like how, keeping all the things in mind that you've just said about what it was like and being women in a band at that time and all that, how different was it touring in the 80s as it was your more recent tours? I mean, how, just the overall feel, but also how you were treated, I guess is the question.
Well, this is Vicki talking. I think when we came back together at the end of the 90s into the 2000s, and we started touring briefly, we didn't tour on the same level that we did in the 80s, obviously, but the goals were different and the feeling was different, and we did feel our power at that point. And it's not just because we were coming back as a band that's already known some success and didn't feel like every night we had to go out there and prove ourselves, but there was but that actually was what it was. It was, we just felt like we're here. We know what we can do. The audiences are already with us. And so it was actually a relief in a way. It actually felt great, I think. And then plus we knew each other so well that the little things that kind of got in the way before just weren't getting in the way. For me, that's just from my perspective.
We worked it out. I think we worked a lot of stuff out because we kind of worked it all out in the 80s, and then we took some time off and did other things, had kids, and had a new perspective on things.
What has it been like playing with the net again?
It's fun.
Oh, so fun. Yeah.
Really fun.
It kind of brings back the feeling of we're just doing this almost like this was never my goal, but I know it was more Susanna's perspective and goal, but to do it like an art project, because Annette is very she's very creative and very she's not coming from like, I'm a hot shit bass player. She's just like, I can do this, I do this, I do this, I also do this. And so we're not looking for that same kind of, we're not looking for the pro musicianship necessarily. It's just a great feel. And she's just a delight as a human being. So it's been really fun.
Now, you were on a Paisley Underground album with 3 O'Clock. Who else was on that?
Rain Parade.
Dream Syndicate.
Rain Parade, you said? Dream Syndicate. Yeah.
3 O'Clock in this, yes.
Oh, okay. And what song did the Bangles do?
We
for
did
that album.
We recorded the 3 O'Clock song "Jet Fighter." You
each did each other's songs, right?
It was called 3x4. It was called 3x4, and the idea was each band would pick 3 songs by the other 3 bands. One song per band. And do their own version of it. And it was really fascinating. I think the Rain Parade, in a way, kind of got honors because they took the other 3 band songs and really did something original with them. And made them their own in a very special way, I think. So, but it was really fun. It was fun doing the Dream Syndicate. It was fun.
And what is that album called for our listeners?
It's called 3x4.
Okay.
3x4, and then it's got all the band's names. But it's a tribute. It's a self-tribute to the Paisley Underground.
Right.
A love letter to the Paisley Underground from us.
Yeah.
And how strongly did you feel that you were part of that?
Oh,
very
absolutely.
Much.
Yeah. It was another community. I mean, that's something that, I only hope it exists now on some level somewhere, and I'm sure it does, because these scenes pop up and then they kind of, grow and then they fade. But with us, I think we got very, very lucky with this group of bands, also including the Songwriters and Green on Red and a couple other bands that are, just remain dear friends. And I mean, what a gift to have these people. And we were so different, but we all were kind of inspired by a similar era of music, which would be the 60s, mostly the mid to late 60s, and psychedelic music and folk music and folk rock, like Paul Simon.
The mamas and the papas and
right.
The mamas and the mamas.
Mamas and the mamas. That's it.
Vicki, I remember that house that you lived in was Spock. It was you, Mickey.
Spock Hotel.
The Spock
Hotel. Mm-hmm. And then didn't Spock, she managed Red Cross or something like that?
Oh, she was kind of Spock was like the godmother of LA punk at some point. I loved that house so much. It was in West Hollywood.
Yeah, it was like Laurel Canton.
No, it was just south of Santa Monica on La Cienega.
La Cienega.
It's not there. I think it's an apartment building now.
Yeah,
but or a duplex.
That was a cool house. Yeah,
it was a very cool house.
That was before Mickey was in the Bangles too.
Right. She was a roommate. Steve Wynn from the Dream Syndicate lived there for a while. I slept on the couch for the first 6 months because there was no bedroom for me. And I cleaned the bathroom and kept the kitchen clean for my rent. But you'd come home at, 3 a.m. after going out and clubbing and, being out with your friends and stuff. And I'd come home and like the lords of the new church would be asleep on the floor.
Oh, wow.
I picked up the phone one day and it was the road manager, right? It was the road manager from The Replacements is saying, yeah, I heard you guys might have a place where we can crash. And I'm like, sure, come on over.
No, Marita used to say when I was, Debbie, you're baby Bangle, and I was baby Backstage Pass, so they used to, I don't remember this with you, but they used to roll their eyes at me all the time. And whenever I'd have someone over, they'd have their like leather jacket with their name in it because it was expensive leather jackets. And so she was like, what is this, like Steve Jones? What's Genny doing now? So they used to roll. I was like the baby of Backstage Pass. I was like 5 years younger than them. And I was like 18. And we were just like, I don't remember you drinking. I was like, I had my hand stamped, man. I wasn't old enough.
You're still the baby in that band.
Yeah, that's true.
So is Debbie.
Actually, no, because Annette's younger than me.
Oh, that's true. You're right. You're not a baby Bangle anymore.
Oh, and that's younger than you, Debbie?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Baby anymore.
You have to beat her up because that's
not by much.
Did you guys keep any of your clothes? Did you keep any like piece of Bangles history?
I have a couple. I have a vest from that Sorry material still. Because unfortunately, we also wore our costumes and our stage clothes so much that they literally wore out. Genny, I don't even know if you know this, but those black velveteen pants that Tony made that she thought I was nuts. And
I thought they were gray.
No, they were black. They were black, like tan velvet, sort of.
Yeah.
And I did this.
They were really wide.
They were wide bells. Like nobody was doing bell bottoms. I'm sorry. This is like 1987.
I know. I just think you were a big fan.
Nobody was doing that. But what I did was I put Velcro around the bottom of these pants, and we made like 3 different attachments so that I could wear the same freaking pair of pants because I'm so cheap. Same pair of pants, but make them look different every night. There was like gold lame fringe. Remember those, Debbie?
That's kind of smart.
The gold lame fringe, and then there were like purple ruffles.
Oh, yes.
Remember?
You wore the gold lame fringe on like Top of the Pops or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. So, but here's the problem. So now I've worn this for whatever 9 weeks, the same pair of pants, washing them occasionally, as one does. And then now we're at a show in New York City at the Pier, and it's a big outdoor show. Thousands of people. Genny, you were there.
And I was in trouble that night.
You were, because you went back to the sound booth.
I went to
soundboard
show. I went to watch the show.
You went but the soundboard was way, way out front, and you went out front to see how we all looked and the fabulous. Yeah. And what happens, like third song in or not even, and
you split your pants.
My pants split right up the back, all the way.
Was that when Tom Cruise was there?
Oh my God.
Yes, Tom Cruise was there. Oh my God. And I'm trying to gesture wildly to our side crew.
You weren't wearing underwear either.
No, of course not.
Oh my God.
Of course not. Why would you wear underwear? These are tight pants, people. They'd gotten rotten. It was like, this was like months of wear. It was so stupid. So I'm like gesturing wildly to our guitar tech, get me a skirt. He's like, what? A skirt? What? But he found it, or I think you figured out something was wrong. You came back to the stage area. But so I'm changing off the side of the stage. It's an outdoor show. There's no wings. So I'm just finding a way to put on this like little gold lame mini skirt and get the pants off. And after the show, we were talking, and I did talk to Tom Cruise. He's like, yeah, I love the costume change. I didn't know you were going to do that. And I was like,
I was in trouble that night. I was in trouble that night.
I think you were a little bit trouble.
Yeah.
That's funny because Genny told us, she said she was really well behaved when she was doing the
No.
Is that not true?
Always well
Is she
behaved.
making that up?
I was in trouble that night. Yeah, one time I got in trouble when I was on tour with Linda Ronstadt. I was like talking on the phone in the dressing room, talking to Jim Carrey, and there was quick change. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, I hear the quick change music, and I'm like, I'm in a dressing room. This really is gonna blow.
Oh no!
And I ran, and I got there in time, but
Like,
she knew.
where are you?
She knew. She knew.
I knew it.
I was 23. What the
These
hell?
things happen. I know, right? But you're a professional.
But back then there wasn't. To my defense, no. I mean, there wasn't. It wasn't like the kind of like big wardrobe stylists of today.
No. I mean, again, I thought we were pretty fancy because we had a wardrobe trunk. We had a trunk.
So exciting. Wardrobe trunks.
I know. Woo!
No,
We're pros.
let me ask you a question. What were some of the things we had on our rider? Do you remember?
No.
At one point, we had to have a hot plate, and that wasn't for food. That was to boil water to steam our throats before the show. And that was a tip given to me by Cyndi Lauper.
Oh.
She would go like, "You got a pot?" I'm sorry, what? Here, have this one. She gave me a saucepan that looked like it had been through World War II, and but that was a pan she took from her mom's apartment, or when she left home, and she's had it ever since. And you boil water in it, and you just steam your throat, before the show, which actually was kind of brilliant. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
Wait, this leads me to another fan question that I'm remembering off the top of my head. Now, I don't think you were a vegetarian then, Vicki, but they want to know how you guys ate vegetarian food on the road in the 80s. But I think that maybe Susanna, I remember eating, we had a lot of vegetables on our rider. Remember yogurt?
But I was a vegetarian, actually. I was a vegetarian. I was a vegetarian since I think 85.
Oh, so I'm wrong. So
86.
So they want to know, did you eat cheese pizza on the road, or how did you keep to a vegetarian diet?
Heck yeah. Who doesn't eat pizza on the road?
They didn't say
really,
vegan. Yeah.
It was difficult forget if you're vegan, you're basically dead. In Europe, it was very difficult. I remember in America, you could at least get a baked potato. In Europe, for whatever reason, I remember we went there in 86 or 87, but it was after Chernobyl, and we were all freaked out. I was like, how am I, Mickey's like, I can't eat, I'm not eating anything that's been grown in the ground. I'm like, okay. That's going to get interesting.
Now, we had in season 1 a tribute to the Plasmatics.
Nice.
And we're having another Plasmatics episode on Sunday. Now, Wendy was a vegan.
What is that?
Hey, is that
hearing?
a dog or something?
That's Elizabeth's dog.
She gets a little carried away, so.
I'm a little excited there. Okay.
Sorry. So Wendy was a vegan since 1968.
Wow.
So she did eat vegan on the road, and she took care of her boys in the band, and she worked out and did her own stunts. And so she was vegan.
Yeah. It's not easy, because I toured with a band called Giant Sand in the 90s, and one of their road crew was completely vegan, and he lived on peanut butter. He just subsisted on peanut butter and beer, probably, but I didn't drink beer, so. But yeah, it really wasn't easy. As a matter of fact, I was just recently in Louisiana, and I was at a wedding, and one of the other bridesmaids was a vegetarian, and one of my jobs as you know, helping out with the wedding, was to stop and get the bridesmaids some dinner or some lunch, basically, before the wedding happened. And where do they want to go? Chick-fil-A. So like, and I'm talking to this guy and I'm getting them all their chicken fingers or whatever. And I go, you don't have anything vegetarian on this menu, do you? And of course the only thing he had was like a small, bad lettuce salad. So the guy that was like, wow, it's like the 80s. It's like the 80s here.
Yeah.
Chick-fil-A.
Are you still vegetarian, Vicki?
Oh yes, absolutely. Yeah, I flirt with veganism, but I do like cheese. So I do the occasional cheese.
God, I remember the dairy when we were in Amsterdam thinking, so good.
Best thing ever. Wow.
Yeah. But I'm a vegetarian too, a pescatarian.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's all go back on the road again.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's a Bangles, Go-Go's, and Backstage Pass. There. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I got it.
It's
Thank
been
you
such
guys. This is so
amazing
fun.
time having you. I want to go back on the road. Can we go back in time and go back on the road? And then
We can do that.
Go back in time.
hindsight is 2020 vision. We could all be better friends. And I
don't want
leave
2020.
you hanging at the pier this time. I promise.
I'm like,
I'll never do it again. I did a lot of bad stuff back then, but I'll never do it again.
Jenny, it wouldn't be so much fun if that hadn't happened. It's great to be talking about it 20 years later.
I'll never
It's
do
all
it
good.
again. But you should have been wearing underpants.
Yeah, that's no fun.
It was the
VPL.
80s.
Come on,
Wear
or
underpants in
VPL.
the 80s. Come
Who
on.
wants VPL?
Thank you guys so much for coming on.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for
so much
inviting
fun.
us.
Oh,
Like a
yeah.
big reunion. This is like a big reunion.
I know.
For me.
So good seeing you, Miss Jen.
Thank you. I'm
Fantastic.
coming to your next show, whatever it
Okay.
may be.
Well, you better.
And Eden
Whenever
too.
that happens.
It's in 2026. So
Okay.
We'll be there. We'll be there.
be patient. Be patient.
See you then.
All right.
Love you guys.
Love you, Jenny.
See you, Jenny.
Bye, girls.